Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Millionaire Brain Yoga. This is Brandy Vale, and I am here to show you something very touching. And I want to wake you guys up this morning. I'm just going to give you a couple of hearts on my own. How about that? Well, welcome again. This is day 11, and each day is a new day. As you guys know, we get to start all over. Nothing matters up until this point. Today is the only day. Good morning, William. Look at this. So this is the sun in Maui coming up. And this is, you guys could just soak that in for a moment. This is something that you guys can drop into your memory bank. That you can have this too. You can meditate, manifest, and have the life that you've always wanted. I know people say that all the time, but the truth is it's true. So we have to understand it a little bit more, right? This is a pond I've been swimming in, and it's a man-made pond, and I've been swimming in there with my 2-year-old son pretty much as possible. And he's seen a lot of lizards here. I'd like to entertain some questions this morning. I'm going to do a little different format because I really like the interaction. But before we begin that, I just want you to take a droplet of that sky and just bring that in for International Yoga Day. International Yoga Day. So good morning, good morning. All right, so let's get started here. I'm so happy you guys are here and joining me once again for this brilliant program that changes your brain. And this brain changing format is I want to say it's not new, but it is new in the sense that Dr. Pilali, where I've been inspired to follow his teachings, essentially brought this back in 2012 and really launched it on the Millionaire Brain yoga side, on the Millionaire Yoga side. And what I was discovering is that I don't think people were ready for it. And so before we begin that, let's see about some of these. Are you, very best, are you a millionaire? So access to being a millionaire, sure, I'm a millionaire. You know, why don't we all just say we're all millionaires? To answer your question, I've been a millionaire time and time and time again, but I've also lost a lot of money. This program isn't necessarily talking about how money is the core of your existence. We're talking about how to train your brain like the millionaire brain. Okay, so the millionaire brain is way different than the poverty brain. And now we have access to both of those. So thank you for the question. And good morning. So let's all take a deep breath in here. You guys breathing in? Breathing breath is the best thing. Good morning. Do you have flexible feet? I have flexible feet. I said I'm going to answer some questions this morning. So I stretch my feet every morning, and I dig into the earth, and I ground myself. And so I want to offer that to you as well. So let's all take a deep breath in here, breathing in and releasing. And just come into that space of knowing that you're at the right place at the right time. You're going to start to dive into that. So my name is Brandy Vale, and this is Millionaire Brain Yoga, and we are live on Periscope, and we are going to answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to take your comments off. But if there are any questions before we begin, I'll be happy to do that now. Some of the questions are, am I a millionaire? So I am a former CEO of an event management company. I have worked in the sharing economy for some time now, looking at how the systems all play out between trade and barter. Aloha, everyone. And I came into my power after a car accident, and my awakening took place. And what that looked like is something had to shift. And so when I made that shift, I realized that my personal power was the main source, the super mind. So today we're going to talk about the super mind. And the super mind is the greatest of all creation, right? So one of the biggest confusions is, what is yoga? And yoga is really misunderstood. Yoga is really stopping the mind. Open, open, open. Opening the heart. Breathing in. And stopping the mind. Now, why do we want to stop the mind? We want to stop the mind so that we could connect to the superconscious, the super mind, the place of who we truly are, the place of the original state of consciousness, also the state of the collective consciousness. Not a lot of people understand this, so move in closely. When we have access to the stillness in our mind, in our brain, there's data that flows inside and channels into our brains, down into our bodies, down into our cellular system, and down into our entire makeup. And as we emit and transmit that information, we then co-create that reality. So there's metaphysical science behind that. There's also science of how that works in the nucleus and why the brain is important. And so there's a lot of data out there. But for this program, I want you guys just to be flexible, right? We're International Yoga Day, so let's be flexible in our thinking and our releasing. And so I'm going to come into just a bit of a grounding moment. Do you guys want to ground with me for this Millionaire Brain Yoga? I'm going to expand the brain, activate all the neurons, send out the neurological pathways, open up the nucleus, send in the energy of our body, envision, and then see what happens. Are you guys with me? Awesome. So let's get started. If you're just joining us, there is an activation of the brain. We've been doing this for several days now. I committed to doing 30 days in Maui. I apologize if you guys are with me every single day and I repeat this, but I know that there's new people here. I'm here because we are activating the brain. We don't stretch the brain enough, which means that the brain itself has lost its frequency at its highest state. It's not operating at the level of its master function, if you will. Sure, we can take supplements. Sure, we can exercise. Sure, we can drink lots of water and think our way into action. But the millionaire brain yoga aspect of it is to be still, to be in its stillness so we can hear the super mind. So what we've been doing is step one. We've been noticing the frontal cortex, the left side of the brain, the right side of the brain. If you guys missed any of that, please go through the recordings once I send it out. Oh, also, please sign up for Facebook group Millionaire Brain Yoga. If you haven't done that yet, I'll be sending out all 30 of these meditations, and they're very systematic. Remember, we're reprogramming our brain to wake up. So what we want to do is make sure that we don't miss any of those episodes so that you're getting the full dose of the shift, okay? So going into the left side of the brain, which is logic and math and science and language, and then we're going into the right side, which is philosophy, symbols, and perception. The frontal lobe, which is the decision making, and the thinking and the speaking. We worked on that yesterday, and we used the color and frequency of yellow. basically, when you're raising your attention into this space, yesterday I had the most amazing experience because my day was full of flow. Did you guys have this experience out there? I had complete focus, complete balance. I got through a bunch of stuff that I generally would have nervousness about, and I found myself in a state of flow. And I was able to articulate that to the people around me. Okay, so today, super mind. All right, let's go into our first portion of the meditation. And the first portion is we're going to notice our breath. I'm touching my nose because we have receptors of energy. And those receptors of energy are articulating and transmuting at the same time. The data that I spoke with you about earlier is our supermind is a place that we're bringing in the channel. Our visual space, our now time, what we're seeing around us, is also articulating energy. Okay? So we talked about scanning the room, noticing the things that serve us. That was in another broadcast. We talked about feelings and emotions, how to soup up our engine and get into the state of being to then manifest. Then we talked about activating the midbrain, which is the main portion of this program. So let's get into the breath work. Okay, so you're going to begin to breathe through one nostril and exhale through the other. Now I want you just to pay attention. You don't really have to close your eyes for this portion. I want you to just get a sense of what it feels like to do this practice. This allows us to slow the breath down and to come into a state where the brain begins to narrow down the pathway of direction. Okay? So begin on the right side. Take a deep breath in through the right nostril and exhale through the left nostril. It might be a little challenging for you. If you want to begin with a very definite physical shift in it, close one side of the nose and then switch over. So you get the pattern, your brain can start bringing that in. Now if you used your hands, try to do it without your hands. In through the right side, exhale through the left side. You'll begin to slow down your heart rate. Your blood pressure begins to lower. You come into a place of balance. And coordination. We're living in a place of nanotechnology, right? And we have found that subtle changes in our reality allow us to have the absence of thought. Continue on that breath, breathing in through the right nostril, exhaling through the left. Some people call it nirvana, or the dying of the mind. Or samadhi, which is stopping the mind. So close our eyes right here, coming in to a center. Continue your breath through your nose, in through the right side, out through the left side. And slowly breathing in through the right side, out through the left side. And our cerebrum, and the portion of our brain where balance and coordination exist. We have an open space where we proclaim our own actions. We have to take control over the story that's out of balance. Continue your breath, breathing in through the right side, exhaling through the left side of the nostril. You're activating the cerebrum and going into the interior cingulate of the brain, which is the heart rate, the blood pressure, also a place where compassion lives. Continue that breath going in through the right side and out through the left side. And slowly allowing our awareness with the color tones of yellow in through the right nostril, out through the left. In through the right nostril, out through the left. To know that we're out of balance, we have to know when we're in balance. We have to know what balance is. We also have the ability to organize and orchestrate through this place of peace, grace, patience, moving those subtle realities of change into our now reality from the supermind. As we're activating the brain right now through this meditation, moving in through the right nostril, out through the left nostril, we're telling our brain we have control over our breath. We're identifying its passageway, and it's triggering the brain and the cerebrum to activate and wake up. And now taking a deep, deep breath in, a cleansing breath, breathing in. And placing our hands into the sky, or up into a good stretch in the morning. And here in Hawaii time. And then coming back into center. What we're experiencing right now is what I would say is this space, activating this space right now, balance and coordination. You know, keep in mind that as we're expanding, we're expanding out into the superconscious. When we come into a place of peace and balance and in grace, right nostril, left nostril, right nostril, left nostril, we create a pattern. And that pattern allows us to stay very singular in our mission, right? And so what we're doing is we're waking up that we have control over that space. But we're also allowing that channel to open up in the mind. Why? Because we're out of the thinking portion. The mind keeps on expanding, right? This is our job. This is what the mind does. But it is our goal or our mission as we want to manifest to stop the expansion and narrow down its focus. So for example, if you're working on your career and you have too many things going on and you want to do them all, it sends out different signals and it stops the vibration from doing exactly what you wanted, which slows down the manifestation process. Just try to do one thing at a time and pick that, so that the science around that is basically multitasking is not the best thing. This is leaving us with a goldfish brain, right? This is a, where do I go? What do I do? How do I do it? Too much information. We're trying to compute all of this down into our cellular system when the supermind is so expansive that we have the opportunity to narrow it down, pick a singular subject, open up, allow that to come into a vibration that's resourceful within our brain receptors. And as we use that light, which is the supermind, right? Light wave frequencies vibrating at a specific rate, it embodies into our cellular system again, and then begins to co-create our reality. So if you're in a place right now and you're really trying, you're struggling financially, you're struggling physically, your relationship's kind of a mess, you have all of these kids, and you want to spend all this time with them, the best story here, this is the golden nugget, is to come into a state of peace and presence, balance, and coordination. Right side inhalation, exhalation. Right side inhalation, left side exhalation. Then the next tool is to observe around you, because the supermind will begin to unfold what is really calling your attention at that moment. When you place your questions out there of, well, when am I going to get a paycheck? When is my next, when is the venture capital coming through? Am I going to get certified? Whatever the questions are, go into this practice of breathing in and letting go, breathing in and letting go. You'll begin to hear the supermind identify with your request, and it works for you. It works for you. I have two children. One of them is 17. The other one is 22 months. Amazing experience to be a mom twice. But 17 years old and 22, I realized that most of the world says to me, when I tell them I have two children with that distance apart, oh, you're starting over again. And in the beginning, I didn't really understand what they were saying. I said, well, why are they saying I'm starting over again? And because I choose to look at my second son, it's not starting over again. Like, this is like the first time I ever met him, right? But do you see this shift in the consciousness? What people impose on me, you're starting over again, could be negative. It's their own life experience. Oh, it's hard work, you know, all this. To me, it's the most glorious thing that can ever possibly be imagined. I created it. So remember, your perception of your world as you scan through it, as you become peaceful and graceful, peaceful and graceful, the supermind responds. And it gives you the answers that you may have not been able to do on your own. You may have been able to have the answers, but you were probably working from this part of the brain, which is the poverty mind, right? Poverty mind is we have to do, be, or act. We have to, you know, hurry up and earn money and be a part of the world that we see on the outside of us. When in all reality, when you begin this millionaire brain yoga, you start to see that you are the creator of your world. And then the world around you begins to bend and supply the tools in order to match your requests. Here's an example. And then we'll go into activating the midbrain, because this is where we start to use the mantras. And today I want to use the mantra of Ah. So stay tuned with, stick with us here. When you want something to happen, when you want to manifest something, you have to get very specific with your desire. It's the same thing with slowing down the breath. Get so specific with your desire, place it onto the midbrain, activate and wake up the neurological system. Guys, this is golden information here, so please, we're going to do this activation. This is the core of the program. But now that we have the cerebellum balance and coordination with the breath, right, the samadhi, the stillness of the mind, then we can go in and start to hear where our desires are being matched. And that's going to take a little practice, so that's why I'm doing it for 30 days. Let's just close our eyes for a moment. Begin to make your breath through the right nostril and exhaling on the left nostril. And exhaling. And inhaling. And exhaling. And inhaling. And now bring your awareness to the frontal lobe, or where the forehead is. Notice the third eye in between the brow. And then begin to walk through the third eye in the middle of the brain. This is where we're going to place our visions of our desires as we cleanse and detoxify the midbrain, activating the neurological cellular system, allowing the oxygen and the light to feed into our cells and into our body. This raises the frequency. So taking a deep breath in here, breathing in, and releasing, and slowly walking back in towards the midbrain, about 5 steps. Now visualizing the smaller brain inside the larger brain. And adding the color of red. We're going to raise the frequency up to the color of infrared. We're going to heighten, say good morning to our midbrain. Begin to pulsate with the color of infrared. It could look like a heart beating. Just feel the vibration opening up the midbrain. Begin to scan from the left side of the midbrain, hitting each one of the particles, each one of the neurology, each one of the cellular system, waking up, cleansing. Scan inch by inch inside the midbrain. Imagine a laser printer going back and forth inside the midbrain. I can't tell you what is going on exactly for you specifically, but when we wake up the midbrain, we're sending signals. We're tickling them, saying, hey, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. In the MRI scan, you can see exactly what's going on as we wake up the midbrain. Taking a deep breath in, and releasing from the left nostril. We're going to keep that pattern of what we learned today. And breathing in through the right nostril. And exhaling through the left nostril. Still sitting in the midbrain with the color of red, I want you to begin to move to the second portion of the activation. Begin to see the color of blue, sky blue. This detoxifies and cleanses and balances the midbrain and the poverty mind. Carry on with your breath. We're going to go into the super mind right now. I'm doing a lot of activation of the brain, but here is where I want you to continue on this. I'm going to move out of the frame because this is really about you. This is about you and accessing your higher consciousness, your higher self, the super mind. And we'll begin the mantra of Ah. Ah. So I'll begin. This is connecting with the heart. I'll begin in just a moment. Begin to connect with the supermind. If your mind begins to wander, bring it back to your breath, in through the nose, out through the nose, in through the right side, out through the left side. Just receiving the information from the higher self. Visualize your higher self. Once you stop your mind, you have stopped the experience of the expansion. This allows you to meet your real self. As we activate, you're going to pull in the desire of your day, the number one desire of your request. I want you to ask your higher self, your higher mind, to give you that vision right here and right now. Taking a deep breath in, breathing in. And exhaling through the left side of your nostril, inhaling through the right side. Exhaling through the left side. Receiving your highest mind's desire for you right now, for your higher self. Taking a deep breath in, breathing in. And now placing that on the midbrain, the vision that you may have received, and really enhancing that vision right now. Playfully, who's there? What are you doing? Are you smiling? Are you hugging? Are you eating great food? And then slowly coming back into center. And I want to do one mantra with you. Please follow along with the sound of ah. Ah. The awe in us connects with the heart. The awe is deep connection, crossing over from the heaven and the earth, or the unreal, the unseen to the seen, as if it's already been created in the now. Placing our hands on our heart, and coming into center and really grabbing into gratitude for knowing that our higher self, our super mind, is delivering information every single time we ask for it. A very important key here is that you ask very specific requests in a state of balance, peace, and grace. Stress does not help. Stress will stop your flow of creation, and you'll work harder and not smarter. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, this stuff works. So my name is Brandy Vale, and you can find me on Facebook, and make sure that you sign on with the Millionaire Brain Yoga group on Facebook. It's a private group, so all the documentation is going to be uploaded there. We're also in July going to be sending out small little snippets of this meditation along with the other programs, and I want to plan to do an event with you guys here in Maui, so that's kind of where I'm at. I want to make that happen. I kind of want to be on a boat, a yacht. I think I want to bring you guys on a yacht. So let's all work on that together, right? Get you guys in circle here in the Millionaire Brain Yoga. Happy International Yoga Day, and if you have questions, feel free to Facebook me or email me. You can also find out about my private practice on healingandlifecoaching.com, where I do channeling, I do energy work, I do visioning, and I also can come up with a customized program based on your own energy output. How fun is that? Thanks again, and I appreciate you because I know who you are. I know your value in this world. And I do this because a poverty mind doesn't belong here. Namaste.